Finally, it is time to announce the brand new 2023 MPO World Champion. Let's find out how it happened. Alright, so starting off, I was thinking it was probably going to be somebody on league card, but they were maybe making it the worst possible league card at Worlds that I have probably ever seen, besides obviously Isaac Robinson. And that was because Calvin, Kyle, and Evan were just not looking so good. Even though they did manage to pick it up a good bit in the back half, it was really just not even that close, and you could tell that it was going to be a battle between Chase Card and Isaac, especially after Evan Scott took a triple on hole 5, which at that point was the only contender to take down Isaac. So for me, I was actually watching this and I was like, honestly, is it weird to watch Chase Card at Worlds? Because there is a possibility for these people to fight for the win and take it down. And it was really looking like Anthony Barela and Eagle McMahon might have what it takes to narrowly get the win, because they were fighting back hard. And besides one bogey from Barela on hole 9, he basically was throwing one of the best rounds I've ever seen from him, especially in a major, which really lends credence to the fact that he is no longer just a person that chokes in the final rounds of important tournaments. He was playing world-class level disc golf, especially on hole 12, where him and Eagle McMahon eagled it. And I have to say, watching them throw their upshots, it looked somewhat effortless. They were throwing it so smooth on their first shot, second shot. They had a very clean looking putt, and I've definitely watched other people throughout this entire weekend try to throw that upshot, and they were really giving it their all just to get anywhere to circle one, whereas these two bombers did not have any struggles in that regard. And Matty O was looking very, very good as well. Craziness, he really didn't have the same amount of craziness in the front 9. He was a couple strokes behind the leaders, so I didn't really think he was going to be in too much contention, but man, he fought back and got a 13 under, making him tied for 3rd place with Eagle McMahon, which ultimately was 1 stroke behind Anthony Barela with a 2nd place finish with -44. So if you are looking to watch some Worlds coverage, I think the #1 round that you must watch is Chase Card final round, because I think that was some of the best disc golf I've ever seen. And sure, league card Isaac Robinson was electric, he was bombing, but as somebody that was there really was just no shot that they had any doubts in. It was such a confident, electric round that you must watch. And I know I'm kind of scattered all about here, but there's just so much to cover here. So with Calvin and Evan kind of out of the picture, it was basically just get a few birdies here and there for Isaac on the back half and you will secure your victory. And that is exactly what he did. He threw so many clean shots in critical moments where players went out of bounds, and he just had a very clean looking look towards the basket, like especially on hole 16 where he had a very missable putt. Sure, it was circle's edge, but I think with all that stress a few players would miss, but he had no doubts with his putt. It jams right in. And then hole 17 he parks it, making hole 18 basically a non-issue, because even if you double you're still gonna win. So he taps in, making him a world champion. And really, I have to say, throughout the entire weekend he was looking the most confident. I watched most of his rounds this entire weekend, so I know for a fact that I could definitely tell his level of focus and confidence going into this, and it seems to really allow him to play his best disc golf. There were so many players that would get a little bit tilted or throw not the best lines, but him having that perfect turnover line for so many shot shapes at this entire 2 courses, I really thought that he was the best disc golfer through and through, even though there was so many amazing shots from other players. And I think if you are Anthony Barela, you really have to take it in stride, because wow, because he probably had the best rounds that he has ever had in an entire tournament. And I think if this was a year ago, Anthony Barela would have crumbled, probably similar to Evan Scott. Not to say that Evan Scott is not good, he's amazing, but just having that level of stress that he's encountered after a bunch of tournaments, now he's at that point where he is an elite level player at final rounds, and it is no longer just inevitable that he will choke. He was looking so good, and I look forward to him at USDGC and potentially taking down his major. Overall, just such an amazing weekend. I am so glad I was able to watch it all live. There were some gripes. I was unable to see a couple of shots, so I had to watch it in post-produced, which just wasn't quite the same, but I cannot believe how good of Worlds this was in comparison to last year. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Were you surprised by Isaac winning? Probably not, but it still was pretty close. There was points where it was like a 1-stroke lead, so it was kind of close, even if the scorecard doesn't really show that. But be sure to subscribe. I have a promo code for my bags. Use code WORLDS2023 at checkout for 15% off. Thank you so much for watching. Wild Runs, signing out. Peace.